Hey guys, real quick before we get started, I just wanted to say this video is a little bit long, apologies. But if you get into it and watch it, I just wanted you to know that it's more geared for people that aren't really in the trade. Most of the guys that are in this trade know what Veto is and what the bags are and how to pack them out. This is geared more towards people that are interested in just getting a new bag, maybe some DIYs, or people that don't really know about them. I wanted to promote to people in that category, so they have a little more input on what they might be able to do with it, how to pack it, what they are, what the name of them are, and where they can find it. So with that being said, sit down, take a watch, and enjoy. Thanks. Hey folks, what's going on? Hope everybody out there is well. I recently jumped on the Veto Pro Pac spring promotion for you buy a bag, you get a smaller bag between tier 1 and tier 2. Basically, last spring I bought a new roller bag for my larger install bag, but something that was small enough to where it wasn't super heavy but portable. So I went with the SP-MC roller, which I absolutely love that bag. It's just big enough to fit most of what I need, larger tools, smaller tools, and it's small enough to stay, around 50 pounds at most for, hauling up to a roof or whatnot. And so anyway, I got the SP-MC as my second bag last year, which I really wanted a small service bag for climbing up ladders and just doing diagnostics for service calls. So super happy with the SP-MC. Up to this point, I did do a 1 year use wear and tear kind of a review on it already. If you guys haven't seen that, check that out. I upgraded to the SPLD bag. The reason I did that is because although I love the SP-MC, I found that I tend to overstuff it just to keep some of the essentials in there. I could probably rearrange it and make everything I really need fit in there, but I like to have what I need when I first go in for a diag, so I don't have to walk back to the truck. Sometimes you park far away or whatnot, but time is money. So I upgraded to the SPLD. It's still a very portable carry around diagnostic bag, but it has just a little bit more room than the SP-MC. So what we're going to do is I'm just going to do a side-by-side here and show you guys the existing bag SP-MC and the change over to the SPLD and go over some of the differences. Here we have the SP-MC. Carries everything I need, has my drill holster, my little accessories, side pouch, a little overstuffed. Not only does it add to the wear and tear, it's just, this bag is really meant for maximum payload, as they put it. I think I'm slightly over that with this. Still love the size of this bag. It carries the essentials and it's small. Now, SPLD, it's essentially the same exact bag. It's about 1.5 inches taller, but it's, 1.5 inches wider front to back, or deeper front to back than the MC is. So as you can see here, you got your slots for your drill holder and whatnot. There's also, since you have the extra depth, there's a couple little small pockets next to those on each side. One here, and then you have, one here and one here. For instance, let's say I had, see how these pencils are all stuffed in here with my psychrometer? I could just take one of these and slide it into the side now, instead of taking up extra room on here. Especially if you're one of the guys that likes to take these off and put it on your belt loop, because you can just throw this on your pants and only carry the few things you need. This is essentially the same exact bag. It's got the hanging hook, same holding strap here. It's got all the same pockets, save for the 2 extra pencil size or driver size pockets next to the holster sleeves. You open it up here, you can see inside. The difference inside is the big difference. So obviously in the front you have this, it's got 1, 2, and 3 little pockets here, and then there's an elastic band strap behind there. Same inside pockets. There's a couple little bit holders here. We don't get that in the SP-MC. We just get these side pockets. So essentially with the extra space in the front here, you get this extra mod swap organizer that does come out if need be. You know, you take this sucker out. But yeah, you get this little band here, which is great for, you know, sliding things in. And then these are 3 elastic pockets, so you have like a bulk storage spot there if you need, and this if you don't. Snap that back in. You'll see the difference in how it will better organize, and you know, it just won't be slightly overpacked as much. Yeah, I'm gaining a little bit of size, but I think in this case, since I'm already putting this stuff in the bag anyway, this is a better option. They both have bit storage on the inside, as you can see there. But in mine, I have my little digital anemometer, and I basically have that in there. And I also have in here some iLog. So let's see, put that in there. Open these guys and let's start the changeover. Here we go. We're just going to move everything from this bag over to this bag. One of the things that I do, I notice myself doing all the time, I take like these here. This is for my little vessel miniature ratcheting stubby here. By the way, this thing is excellent for getting into tight spots. If you guys ever have to change out or clean a flame sensor on a furnace, that's generally what I use this for most of the time. A lot of times the screw to get those is really tucked in the back, and if you have, you know, big hands, it's hard to get back there. But this sucker, I mean, you could just bend it, you know, get it up, grab the flame sensor screw up there with whatever bit or socket you're using, and you can just, you know, hold it and it comes right out. This is good for that. You can get these on Amazon. They're fairly inexpensive. If you need a good stubby, I really recommend this one. But anyway, I stuff it right in the front there, you know. This would be a good option, having that elastic band, just to give it a little more, you know, so it's not falling over. Because sometimes when you know, it's good there, but if I take my meter out, you know, it's going to get lost in there and stuffed under, and, you know, basically see how it falls in. It just gets kind of lost. So that would be good. The other, I'll say, gripe or concern with the SP-MC, like I said, I like everything about this bag. I specifically got the spring promo last year because I wanted this bag most of all. But the biggest problem I have with this bag is if you look at the base, and I knew this would probably be a problem when I got it, but if you see how thin that is, this thing tips backwards really easily, especially like, you know, when you're on a roof, you know, and I just kind of set it down too hard, it'll fall right over. This thing is not falling over. It's got a really good, you know, deep base. So even with a lot of weight in here, I don't think it's going to tip over. You know, this, push that back. This one, it's going over. And I do have some things on the back hanging, some, you know, some bit holders and my little other miniature ratcheting tool. But it's not a ton of weight on the back. And inside here I keep a couple wires and stuff, which you'll see. Got my Veto tape loop right there, tape hanger. Anyway, yeah, so the tip over was an issue for me, and you know, that was one of my main reasons for upgrading to this bag. Like I said, is only a year old. It's still in great condition, but it'll hold up much better if I don't overstuff it. All right, so we have my small meter flashlights. We have, this is an extra flashlight and a shoulder strap. Wrenches. Just show you guys everything that is in here. It's basically all my mini tools that I use for diags, you know. I've got some zip ties in there. Got my vessel. I got a little pick tool. This comes in handy for changing out gaskets on hoses and all kinds of other good stuff. This is my extension for my anemometer. I use this for sort of, you know, testing grill flow, airflow at grills and stuff like that, return supplies. That's why I keep it in here, but it does work for your camera as well if need be. Little Milwaukee flashlight. This one has the rubber bite grip on it, which is really great. All right, then we got some drivers. These are my older beater styles, and then I got some of my good Weras in here. If you haven't tried Wera, these are, in my opinion, the best screwdrivers. Just a grip. There's a lot of nice drivers out there, but for what I do, I like the way these fit in my hand. They're really good for, you know, one-handed use. They do have a little anti-roll molding on them, and if you get the demo drivers, these suckers are nice. They're heavy duty. They have a bolstered shaft here, and you can see there's another little bolster there for grabbing with pliers if need be, and they have the steel head for hitting with a hammer if you need. All right, a little reamer. These little back pockets, I know they're tiny. I generally keep things like this, Q-tips, a little reamer in there. Sometimes I keep furnace fuses in here, stuff like that, just to give you guys some ideas of what you might be able to use them little pockets for. Okay, so let's start with this side. My Milwaukee 12 volt, got my fastback, and this is just a little tape measure. All right, let's take this guy off. Take off our bit holders. And here we got some extra wire, got some flush cartridges. There is a thermocouple. All right, so this little Type K clamp is sort of a spare. Sometimes I use it, sometimes I don't. It doesn't really need to be in here, but it does fit in here pretty well. Little thermostat driver, boom. Here is a thermometer, stick thermometer. I use this for evaporators and walk-ins and whatnot. You know what, I'll stick this one in the back. And we should probably cut this off now, huh? There we go. Well, there's a little Veto bottle opener, if you haven't got one of them. Yeah. Put our field piece psychrometer. Put that in the back. It's not on, is it? Okay. Here is a marker. I tend to use a marker quite a bit. Here's my little extra thermostat driver. It's got a little Schrader valve on the bottom. This is actually cool. It does switch as well. I didn't know it did that for years, but yeah, pretty cool. Put that in there. All right, there's my other driver. Boom, boom. Then I got some flush cut pliers, little Milwaukee's here, and then these are, I think I got these from Harbor Freight, but these are really handy because they're so narrow and fine tipped. They don't have teeth on them, but if you got to grab some stuff and your needle nose are too thick, these come in handy. That's why I have these. But those will go right in the front here. There's something different I didn't notice. There's a D-ring sewn right to the side there. That'll be cool, because as you can see, I had mine hanging from these back D-rings, so they always slap off the back. You know, you get your little side D-rings here like they both have, but this little extra one here, you can just, you know, hang some stuff off the side, which would be nice. See, the tape loop is on this D-ring here, and we don't have that on the SP-MC, so I had mine back here. As you can see, you still get the same D-rings on the back, but yeah, cool. So there's another difference. I think all around this is going to be a much better bag though, like I said. I usually put my drivers in here, the ones I use most of the time. But honestly, I think these would be better served in a spot like that, for real. But I'm going to put these here. This way so you guys can see better. That there. Those guys, I'm going to wait on them drivers. And then put our meter. This smaller SC260 is nice. It's a really small meter. I mean, look at that, smaller than my hand. This does a lot of what you need it to do, at least for diag, AC, and furnaces. There's obviously some features that a bigger, better meter will have, but I'm telling you, this thing is solid. This has been my favorite little meter for quite some time. And it fits in almost any bag, so it doesn't take up a ton of room. My more advanced, you know, more expensive meters are great, but it just, even my large meter will, I think my SC680 will fit in here actually. It's like 13 inches tall. This is, I think, 13 or 13 and a half. But anyway, that'll be so big, you know, it takes up a whole lot of room. Look at that thing. And there's still a ton of room. All right. Now we can start doing stuff like this. You know, see where these are gonna fit. So not in the front, but over here certainly. Put one there. I'll put these behind them because these are both snips. Boom. And then some, I do put some in this way, but especially with these shorter things, I like to have them standing up so I can see what I'm grabbing. It's just a little more helpful. Yeah, maybe not those, but I can stick them in between. How about that? Got my mini pliers wrench here. Some people put their drill in like this on the side. You can certainly do that. That's how I usually keep mine. Or some people put it like this, and there is the little retainer strap here, which I do use. As you can see, if you put it in like this, you can still put the retaining strap on there, and it works fine. I feel it gets in the way a little more. With the smaller SP-MC, I know when I put my drill on the side, the battery, once it's, as long as it's like not catching the belt strap on the drill, when it sits in there, you see it touches the floor. So when I pick this up and set it down, it certainly hits the bottom of your drill. And if you look real close, you can see there's certainly some wear and tear on this battery. So it's good that you have a little more clearance under this one, so it doesn't get beat up as much. Once this breaks in, this will work a lot better. It takes a little getting used to, because all the straps and sewn on sleeves are really tight when these are new. There we go. Yeah, just give it a couple stretches, and again, over time, it's gonna work itself out. Don't worry. Put our tape on here. Boom. I put our Q-tip in here, and our reamer in there. And then these are going to go in with the heating stuff in my truck, so I'm not actually going to put these back in the bag. But now I can actually fit my flashlight into my bag. Fits in there perfectly. Boom. I can even put a spare in there if I want. Boom. Bada bing, bada boom. Now just to move everything over that's in here, we have these extra sockets. Boom. We have some socket adapters here. I have my Molex leads for mini splits, and then a bunch of little piece of I should probably put that up there, huh? But I keep it in here just to go to for cleaning sensors and whatnot. Little jumpers, some screws, straps, just random goodies. All this stuff will fit in here nicely. Oh, look at that. That's one mistake. Raw and uncut, fellas. If you're doing this, make sure you don't have both zippers open. Don't do like me. Do like I say. Some Romex connectors, fuses, a little refrigeration tee in there. That's it. That's everything. Goes in there. Zipper up. So there you have it, folks. The bag is all filled up, and as you can see, it holds everything that was in my SP-MC and much more organized. You know, the front pouch is obviously still a little overstuffed, but this holds everything much better than my SP-MC bag did, and it doesn't tip over. See, I'm just trying to put the flap up and the damn thing tips. Look, if you're trying to one-hand your flap, it's going to tip on you. And I'm not trying to push that over. It just literally, there we go. Zipping, wants a tip. Zipping, it does tip. Put our handle strap on there. You know, so this is a great, really light, durable bag. It's got the Veto quality and warranty with it. But if you want something that just has a little more room and carries things a little more efficiently and organized, I really recommend the SPLD. Very similar in size, just a little deeper from front to back. Basically all the same pockets, D-rings, hanging hooks. Aside from these small D-ring straps on the side, it has one on each side. And then these two extra little side slot pockets right here for carrying, you know, razor knife, pencil, maybe a stick thermometer, psychrometer, anything small, pencil, marker, you have those. Outside of those, it essentially has everything else that the SP-MC has, just with a little bit more storage space, and you get that front Veto mod swap panel that comes in or out with a couple extra slots for storage. So let's put the little shoulder strap that I have here, put it to the shoulder tote test. There we go. Now, again, this is carrying all the same stuff that my SP-MC carried. Just, you know, I could lift it out straight up. I'm a pretty strong guy, but I could lift it out with my arm straight. And, you know, obviously it's heavy, but it's not ridiculous, you know. So, the bag itself, strap on there. I can As you can see, it's not humongous. It's still a pretty good sized, smaller service bag. Just has a little bit of extra room, just a little bit. So, Veto's the way to go. Here's the SP-MC on shoulder, so you can kind of see the size difference. It's a good small bag. This sucker's gonna get heavy, you know, obviously when it's full. Like I said, my only issue with it was the base. It tips backwards a lot, especially when it's full up with tools. But it did hold everything I wanted it to hold perfectly fine. It just had that tipping issue. I tend to overstuff it like I showed you guys. And I didn't want to beat the bag up too much more for another season. So I figured I would upgrade to the SPLD. And as you can see, it's still a fairly small size bag. Just has the little extra storage capacity that I prefer in my case. So yeah, I think both are a solid buy. And if you guys are in the market for a new bag, can't go wrong with either one. I would say give it a shot. And if you haven't dealt with them before, right now the spring promo is the best time to buy, because not only can you get a good bag, you can get the promotion offer, which is a second bag that you get for free if you buy during the spring promo. So tier 1 bags are going to be most of your bigger bulk storage bags, but there's a ton of different selections based on trade and, you know, size. So take a look at those. I'm sure you'll find what you're looking for. And then there's tier 2 that are basically the smaller size bags, service bags, stuff like that, like this. But either way, if you get a tier 1 bag, you get a larger second bag. The second bag, if you buy a tier 1 this year, is a lot like the SPLD. It just has fixed pockets on the sides. It doesn't have the detachable drill holster and stuff like that this has. Either way, you get a good second item at no cost, which is a really good little perk to get. If you're going to buy a bag anyway, it's a really cool perk to have. So jump on that. Check them out at VetoProPac.com. If you guys liked the video, give me a like, subscribe, share us. All right. Thanks for checking us out, guys. I'm Rue, RM HVAC. We're out. Just want to give you guys a real quick view of the tier 2 bag that you get. This is the MB2B. You could call it a meter pouch or accessory pouch, or you can carry almost anything. It's got some pockets on the inside. There is bit storage in there if you need bit storage. It's got this top pouch with a clear zipper right there. So you can put your batteries in there or magnets if you like. Sometimes I like having a magnet in there. That way you can just throw stuff to the front of your bag, and if you get a good strong magnet in there, it will stay. But this is actually a really deep pocket. It goes all the way to the bottom, as you can see. Then you have some side storage here. There's tape loop. The back, you have a nice hanging hook on there, some D-rings, the handle on the back, and then you also have this back pouch here that gives you another little spot to put whatever the heck you can fit in there. Some good size. Matching pocket on the other side. This is a lot like the MB3 bag that has been out in the past. You just get the hard bottom on this one. A little nylon stretch pouch in the back there, and then on the inside it's just bulk storage otherwise. So in there you're just getting a big bulk storage pouch. If you want a comparison, here's the SP-MC right next to it. So it's not a small bag. Like, this isn't just for your meter. You know, this, you could fit a lot more than just a meter in there. It's very near the size of the SP-MC. You know, this, maybe you want to carry, like, you know, your camera equipment or your drone equipment, or, you know, whatever. It'd be a nice little bag to have in the truck for specifics. I thought about maybe using this to carry my press tool. I think it'll be too heavy with all the jaws, but this would certainly carry my press tool, maybe one battery, and, you know, a couple of jaws. This will be a good bag to carry, like, your carbon monoxide kit, your meters, maybe your infrared thermometer or infrared thermal imager, maybe a combustion analyzer kit, something like that could fit in there. Maybe like an Ambro precision torch set. I think this would carry that pretty good. The tanks are certainly small enough, so you could probably fit a small torch setup in here, or something similar. You know, just a couple ideas. One thing I did want to show you guys is, I know it's not really meant for it, but you probably could make it work. So let's see here. Yeah, I mean, it's not necessarily made for it, but I mean, hell, it works. So it doesn't have the slim, tight pockets, so they're going to certainly have some movement depending on how much weight you put in these. But you can absolutely put these in here. So if you want something similar to a small SP-MC bag or something like that, I mean, we live in a world where it could work. That's all I'm saying. So anyway, if you guys are interested, check them out like I told you. I really appreciate you guys stopping to take a watch. We'll be back with more soon. And if you would, give us a like, subscribe, and share.